This is the S&P 500 one-day reading for December 4th, 2023. It's currently October 10th, 2023, 7:53 p.m. Eastern Time. The S&P 500 at the time of this reading is currently 4,358.24, and the shuffle file we're about to play for you was created on October 5th, 2023 at 9:09 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video right here. All right, so the overall theme of behavior for the day, much easier day to interpret the overall direction and where the highs and the lows are. We don't have any nullified cards here. What's interesting is that the theme card is a cross-reading congruency for the low card on the 1 month for December. There's not a lot indicating that we have a lowest low here on the 4th, but it may be that we have a lowest low thus far, in which case we would see it probably towards the end of the day. Behavior around the highest high, we have a prominent move higher and a full retracement of that move back down. And then behavior around the lowest low, we have another cross-reading congruency here in a unicursal, the happiness card. So if we sell off from a notable peak, a near overbought peak or an overbought peak, we sell off from pretty notably through multiple support levels, taking us into the low, and it'll be like a notable move to the downside based on the unicursal. I think we probably have, and then I'm advised to trade around a rally that increases with momentum moving forward in time. And that's what I said, like overall, it looks like we probably have a bullish day for the most part, especially because it's a swiftness card, which is a fast sudden move higher in most cases. All right, guys, before we go any further, I just want to make sure everybody's aware of the whole purpose of the channel. We're not giving this stuff away for free. We're paying it forward, and we're expecting that people are going to follow through on their end of the agreement. We continue to put this content out for free based on people following through on the rule of karma for the channel, which in essence is us looking to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. Imagine if all of the energy of the stock market was transmuted into goodwill around the world. I mean, what a difference it would make in the world. We can at least do a part of that, right? So 5% of the profits that you make from this information should be donated forward to one of these charities. Just click here on the link here in our resources tab. 5% of the profits should be donated back to the channel here at one of these links. If you're international, please use WISE. And that leaves you at 90% of the money. Make sure to spend that money out of love. As long as you do that, you follow the rule of karma for the channel. The universe considers you an angel investor and is going to send it back to you tenfold. Guys, if you don't follow the channel, I guarantee you will, like, weird stuff will start to happen where you could be right and still not make any money from it. I'm not saying you'll lose money, but like the universe will cut you off. Like when you make money with a profit, make sure to follow the rule of karma. Do not put it off. I've seen it happen to people. Not to mention, I ban people who ask a ton of questions that are trade questions but don't follow the rule of karma, because, guys, whole purpose of the channel. So thank you again. All right, so in the pre-market, we have an important technical price level it's important, relevant on like a 1 month scale. First thing in the morning, and it looks like we have a pretty significant decline into the open where we have a low, and this is a cross-reading congruency, the preview card from the prior day, so a significant move to the downside into the open. We should see a failed attempt to break the key resistance and a decline through key support on a 1 day scale there in the first half hour around that low. And then we have, out of that low, there's a bit of a rally taking us to a crest that we sell off from down to and through support on a 1 day scale. We break down through another support, and then we do a U-shaped reversal below that support, come back and reuse it as support. Looks like another trough around, a higher one, but another trough around like 11:10, 11:15, and an unexpected move to the upside that'll stand out on a 1 day chart there, starting out of that trough around 11:15, taking us to a near overbought peak or crest around noontime, with a notable move to the upside and then a notable move back down in the midst of some pretty jagged price behavior here with the Prince of Swords. We end up in a low, another low. It may be the same low. It's hard to say if it's a lower low or the same low or just a prominent trough there. So I think for the most part we're moving to the upside throughout the day. But there is an important trough there, cross-reading congruency from the prior day where we have this nullified card. I look into correlations in the next day when the cards are nullified, and you can see we have one here with the low card. So likely another significant low there and a big move out of that low. After establishing support with sideways rotation, a big move out of that low, reaching for, standing out on a 1 day chart, and then that turns into volatility between roughly 2 and 3 o'clock. And that volatility ends with a fast sudden move higher, taking us to a trade opportunity around 3 o'clock. It may end up being, I'm sensing it may end up being a little bit earlier than the timing of this reading, so maybe like more in like the 2 to 3 o'clock hour, but somewhere towards that last hour and a half, there's a trade opportunity at a brief peak that's easily missed. It looks like it's probably the fast sudden move higher ending the volatility, taking us to a brief peak that's easily missed, and then a notable decline from that peak through multiple support levels. There's a lot of cross-reading congruencies and cross-reading correlations going on here, indicating a significant decline at the end of the day. And very likely what we have here is a high. There's very likely a high there, for, like on a 1 month scale. This is most likely a highest high here between the first, second, and third, but very likely there's a highest high somewhere here towards the end of the day, and then we decline pretty notably. I don't think I'd want to get bullish here. I would close my short position from the prior day here in the morning in the midst of that decline. I don't think I'd want to get into a bullish position here. There's just too much back and forth, really like erratic mixed behavior, and then we've got lows and highs at the end of the day, so there's going to be some sort of really big move there. I want to catch this brief peak that's easily missed, followed by a decline through multiple support levels. I want to get into a short position there for another swing trade. Sneak preview card talks about pushing the upper end of a range higher, and that's a range on a one day scale minimum. We'll look at that in more detail as we progress. Whether or not we open higher or lower is a little difficult to determine on the 5th based on the dailies. So what I would do is I would open 50% of a short position here between in the last hour or last hour and a half, where we have a brief peak, fast sudden move higher, ending volatility, and creating a brief peak that's easily missed. And a high there. I would want to open up 50% of a short position, and then the following day, if we open higher, we have an opportunity right at the open or before the open at a higher price level, then I would open up the remainder of that position there. 2 nullified cards making it difficult to determine highs and lows, but I think we probably have a high and a low first thing in the morning, and then we also have a low significator cross-reading congruency here So the overall trend is pretty much like sidewaysy back and forth going on, at least for like the first 2 weeks. And then we might get into some trouble here towards the end of the month. But you can see we could go from a highest high to a lowest low, especially if it's a highest high thus far to a lowest low thus far. I think the highest high for the month's probably there. It might be here as well, but there is a significant decline in the first half hour on the 5th. In any case, we'll talk about the 5th in more detail when we get to that reading. That's the S&P 500 for December 4th. Guys, if you want this information sooner, if you want to plan ahead, which you can totally do with SO meta-analysis, look for the clearest trades and the best opportunities. You can learn how to read SO meta-analysis, which is a pretty well-developed system. It took me 24 years now to develop the system, and it's just getting better and better. So you could order our book here, under shop on our website, Tarot for Traders. Order the ebook, and that'll give you a better understanding of how to read the cards in relation, and not only that, but how to do the readings. And I know people that have purchased the book, purchased the cards, and successfully use the system, so it is reproducible. But if you want to get this information sooner and plan ahead accordingly, you can always go to early access, and you get early access on our website, Tarot for Traders, here under our services, SO Meta Posts. Early access, click here to subscribe, $29 a month, $249 for the year. Thank you very much to all those of you supporting the channel, and remember to follow that rule of karma, guys. So that's the S&P 500 for December 4th, 2023, my friends. I'll see you guys on the next one.